You alright, man?
Can't you knock?
I didn't realize. I'm really...
I'm not getting anywhere. I'm going to question each passenger individually. Anyone without an airtight alibi will be checked for gunshot residue.
But, Inspector...
People trip up when you put pressure on them, Constable Zellner.
That's true.
He's nervous. He's changed his methodology and become a murderer. I'll see it in his eyes. After you.
But, Inspector Legrand...
Stop saying that and just open your mouth to what you gotta say. Acting like you're a 7-year-old who can't, like, just keep talking. Actually, a 7-year-old would just keep talking.
We have no proof that the Raven and the murderer are the same person.
Who cares about that?
You may not know it, but I do. I will catch him with or without your help.
Still an idiot. Okay, I forgot he was an idiot. I'm sorry. I forgot.
I don't believe it. What's gotten into him?
What's got into you?
It makes no sense to tell him about my theories if his opinion is already set. I need evidence. Or better yet, the murderer. I also need his lab if I'm going to get anywhere. I need to get in there somehow. And I really need to talk to the stowaway.
Sometimes our character is a pain in the ass.
And the inspector will just ignore him, since he's too young to be the Raven.
Because he's not guilty. Why didn't you go in there and say, hey, I found a pillowcase with burn marks on it. Hey, I found this note that was a message to you. Hey, I found this audio reel tape that we should probably listen to and see if there's something important on there. Why didn't you say any of that? Huh? Well, what's your excuse? Talk to me, loser. Alright, that was childish, but hey, there's a plant we can look at. Look at this plant. It's just frustrating. Like, you have all this evidence you just went and got. Why don't you come back here and say something about it?
The ship seem less dreary. A bit of paint on the
more to it
walls
than
would
that.
help more, especially since a plant won't survive long without daylight.
Let's keep looking.
There are little stones in the flower pot.
Take some stones. I don't know why. But let's take the plants. Let's take them.
Not only does the poor plant have to make do without sunlight, it doesn't have any soil either.
It's probably plastic anyway. Take some rocks. You are taking rocks, aren't you? What are you doing? Take some stones, yes.
What am I supposed to do with stones?
I don't know, take them. Just obey the metagame. And the metagame is, if the game lets you take something, you take it. If it's a red herring, it's a red herring. If not, well, hey, you still got it. You guys can click on Medical Center? Nah, you might punch me in the face. Still don't know what this little box is. Probably absolutely nothing. Examine the door. Start to examine.
Legrand locked the door.
Right. Still got your pliers?
The lock isn't especially secure. If I had a wire or something like that, I could probably pick it.
We're gonna break into Legrand's cabin. That sounds like a great idea. Examine the hallway. What?
I'm not paying for this trip, and that's a fair price for my cabin. It's rather plain, shall we say.
You're not supposed to be in your cabin on a cruise? Come on now. Supposed to go up to the deck, lay out on the sun, play some shuffleboard. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not play some shuffleboard. Alright, let's, Agatha's gone, so maybe there's something else going on in here. Oh, all kinds of stuff going on here.
Mr. Kreutzer, come on, you have to give me a bit more. You're the only one who was on the train and who has no alibi for last night.
As I said, I was in my cabin.
Are you sure that it was your cabin and not the Baroness's?
Legrand will question the guests, one after another. But if he doesn't get the answers that he wants to hear, it could become unpleasant for them.
I don't like Legrand. What do we got here? Libby, what's your face? Examine the... what? What's over here? Is lunch out here? Come on.
English ham and eggs. One advantage on an international trip is the international breakfast. Many of my fellow countrymen think it's outrageous to eat fried bacon, sausages, or anything heavy for breakfast.
Why is that?
I, on the other hand, think ham and eggs are the only worthwhile contribution the English have made to international cuisine.
Pretty close. Pretty close. Anything else I can look at? Look at the coffee. Why am I looking at coffee? Hey, the game's letting me, so let's get a cup of coffee. That's why not. Get an empty cup of coffee.
Ah, that's just what I needed.
Anything else I can look at? Same thing.
It's not fair.
What's
There's
not fair?
a magnificent buffet, but I don't have an appetite. Maybe a side effect of the tranquilizer.
It's a 3-item buffet. Like, it does not seem that excellent. I mean, it's 3 things. Enter the after deck. Okay, we count to them. That's good. I don't want to talk to them anyway. Oh, she might. Oh, never mind. I was gonna see what the lady had to say about them arguing right there in front of her. We've already talked to the captain today. Go look at him. No. Examine the speaker.
These things made quite a racket last night. I couldn't hear myself think.
Okay.
Miss Mayers seems to have found an opportunity to do nothing.
Point of a cruise, isn't it?
Hello, Miss Mayers.
Hello, Mr.
What?
Constable Zellner.
You mean you forgot my name?
Do you think it's appropriate to go sunbathing in a
Oh,
situation like this?
I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say you look very nice out here sunbathing, but that's creepy too. So I didn't mean that either.
Refusing to sunbathe could bring the dead back to life. I'd go back to my cabin.
Yeah, you are an idiot. I mean us again. I usually mean us when I say you're an idiot. I don't tend to mean
Did you hear or see
the other person we're
anything
talking to.
suspicious last night?
No, I didn't feel very well last night. I went to bed early.
Do you drink the champagne?
You feeling better this morning?
Thanks for asking.
Is that a yes?
I'm sure your parents
Does it
are
take
truly
feeling well
sorry
to
that
go
they can't
sunbathing,
be
I
with
guess?
you at this difficult time.
Maybe. But I'm not a little girl anymore. And thinking about my fiancé keeps me going.
You're engaged?
Yes. My boyfriend and I got engaged right before the trip. I want to surprise my parents, especially my dad.
I'm sure he'll be very surprised. But what will you do if your father doesn't
cares?
agree to the engagement?
What choice does he have when he put me on this boat full of thieves and murderers in the first place?
Charming.
Oh, I was
Enjoy
thinking
the
this was the
sunset,
other
Mayers,
woman this
and
entire time.
Don't let us disturb you.
If you're trying to make me feel guilty, Constable, it's not working.
That whole time I was thinking that was, what, Miller? What's this girl's name? Gotcha. Totally different person. I was thinking Miller this whole time. I was like, why didn't you remember your name? Like, you were, like, helping her son and talking to Agatha? I know Agatha's not her name either. Okay, this is the girl with the luggage who made us carry her luggage in. Gotcha. I'm caught up now. Light in the sun. We should totally do that later. Go to the side deck. He's not gonna have anything important to say. We just talk to him. Let's go to the side deck. Maybe we can find the actual Miss Miller. Maybe Maddie. To the after deck. We've already been here. Let's go this way. Where else can we go? Let's go over this way. Keep on trucking. Alright, then we're gonna save because I don't trust this game anymore. Alright. We got Constable who is still sleeping. Water bottle. And we've got... oh yes, the Professor. Professor Mackinac, Miss Miller. Let's talk to Maddie first. So shuffleboard, Maddie.
Keeping himself busy with that strange game. He seems to be okay again. But I think he'd be running around all over the place if he'd really come to terms with what happened on the train.
What do you mean?
Hello there, partner.
Hi.
Are you alright?
Uh-huh.
Have you recovered from our adventure?
You sound
Mr.
recovered.
Zellner,
Hmm?
what's going on?
What do you mean?
Everybody's acting so strange, and there's tape across that door. I saw that in a movie once.
You don't have to be worried.
Is it about the man from the train?
Maybe.
It might be about
Maybe.
the thief, yes.
Haven't you caught him
You
yet?
need to stop calling him a thief. He's a murderer.
Okay.
That's like a couple steps up from thief. I'm not worried about a thief. He'll just take my stuff. So what?
I heard you and your mom used to argue a lot.
We did. Everything was bad. The house, school, the other kids. We didn't have much money, and I was always alone.
You do know that your mother would love to have been with you, don't you? She had to go out to work to earn money.
Why are you
She
assuming
wouldn't
that?
have had to, if Dad were still around.
Maybe she hates him.
And
Who are you to
how
say?
do you get along with her now?
I'm always happy when we do something together on vacation. She has more time for me now, and I like my boarding school. I have lots of friends, and the teachers aren't so bad.
Alright, let's ask about this professor who's
Your
macking on
mother
your mom.
and Professor Lucien seem to be on very good terms with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Oh,
you like him?
I think he's a little high-strung myself.
Don't know.
He seems to be very nice.
Does he?
I guess.
He seems to be dumb because, I mean, he didn't want people to know about the theft, but it was on the front page of the paper.
Lady Westmacott
It wasn't the front
is
page, but it
all
was
by
in the paper.
herself in the saloon. Maybe you'd like to visit her later.
Sure. The lady tells exciting stories.
No doubt.
Oh, she's my favorite writer.
She told me that it's not much fun to write detective novels.
Really?
She'd rather write something else, but her fans always want the same thing.
They made her rich and famous.
I told her to write what she wants to write. If it's good, someone will buy it. And if not, at least she had fun writing it.
That's right.
Then she smiled and nodded. She said it was a good idea.
You know the pen name.
What are you playing there?
I'm playing shuffleboard. At least I'm trying to.
Never played it before.
Nope.
It's easy.
Is it?
Professor
That's
Lucien
good.
explained it to me.
And who won?
We didn't play.
You
What?
didn't want to play with him, did you?
Maybe.
Do you
Maybe
want to
not.
play a game with me?
Sure.
Yes, what are the
You
rules?
have to explain the rules to me first.
Okay.
I don't know how to play
Play with the
shuffleboard.
blue pucks and I play with the red ones.
Okay.
You have to push the pucks with this stick into the zone over there and score as many points as possible.
Sounds easy. How many pucks do I have?
6. Now here comes the kicker. First it's your turn, then mine, and so on. But everyone is allowed to shoot the other person's pucks out of the zone.
Okay. I'm sure the controls gonna be a mess with this, so if this takes me more than,
What are we
one
playing
try.
I thought we just play for fun.
That's boring.
What?
We have to bet something. Otherwise it isn't fun.
What you got?
You English people.
So I'll bet my brand new slingshot. And you?
I don't want to gamble.
I got some
How
rocks.
about ice cream in Cairo?
Okay. If I win, I get the slingshot. If I lose, I get an ice cream in Cairo.
Nice. Just gotta think about that one.
Hey, never try to cheat Matt Miller. So, what do you say? Ice cream versus slingshot?
That's what I said.
All right. Let the games begin.
Alright, I'm gonna lose like 14 ice creams here. Alright, so what am I... How do I actually play? Like, where are the actual, for real rules at? Can I just click this? Okay, so that was weird. So I hit this and fling it? No. Oh. So that's some... Okay, let's see how much power it has. Pull that back. There we go. Okay, that's... something. I mean, I knocked his like that, but okay. Now I know what's going on at least. Give me some power. That was too much power, and I'm losing badly. How did I get 0? That one's still kind of on 3? Alright. Be like that. Be like that. I'm gonna have to play this again, and probably like 14 more times. $16.28, good grief. Okay, so I've got to like go for that big clump he's got there and just knock them all out, right? Oh, that didn't work at all. Oh man, that was awful. Alright, 26.38.
Rats.
That sucked.
Yeah,
Let's do it again.
I win. That's one ice cream for me.
You've been practicing.
Yeah, do it again.
This time I'll win.
Nah,
And if I don't win, I will cut this part out.
That's it.
Alright.
Oh,
Woo!
man.
The athlete wins the day.
One more time.
Athlete, nothing.
No, that's enough for me.
Good grief, that sucks.
Alright. Here.
Are you sure?
Trying to play an adventure game, not minigame.
I'll give it back to you when I don't need it anymore, okay?
Okay, but make sure my mom doesn't catch you with it. She thinks it's dangerous.
How'd you get it then? What are you doing with that? Go shoot skeet with it. Okay, anyway. We have a slingshot and some stones. That's what the stones are for. Can I put those with the slingshot?
Little stones make perfect
Yeah.
ammunition for the slingshot. Now I just need a suitable target.
Can shoot him at the professor. That'd be entertaining. Alright, let's go talk to these two. And he'll probably say something rude about how, I don't know what he's going to say. It's going to be stupid, I'm sure. Play nice.
Miss Miller and the
We
professor
will our own
are
character to
talking
play nice.
intensely. She seems pretty relaxed, by her standards.
Come on, play nice. Don't
Good morning, Miss Miller.
see anything dumb. Come on.
Constable Zellner, how are you? I heard you passed out last night.
Drugged.
Well, not quite.
Drugged. Let's make
I
that.
was
Come on now.
poisoned.
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
That wretch!
What wretch? What are you talking
What
about?
do you mean by
There you go, thank
that
you.
wretch?
That stone!
Oh.
That new raven!
The young man can't be the murderer. Constable Oliver had already apprehended him when the shot was fired.
You mean...
Whoever killed the Baroness is still on the loose.
I think I should take my leave.
You leave her by
I'd like
herself?
to rest for a while.
One last question, Professor.
Where were you the night of the murder? Wait, that's not what I wanted to ask at all, was it? Eye of the ski.
Do you
Starts
think
with
the
the
eye is well protected in the safe in Legrand's cabin?
Of course
Nope.
it is. They assured
He's not there.
me that it would take hours of work with heavy machinery to crack the safe. And if
Unless
Legrand
you
is in
design the
his
safe.
Constable Oliver or I check that everything is in order every hour.
I understand.
I want to go back to my cabin. I'll see you later, Mary.
oh, of course. See you later.
So you find out there's a murderer around, and you leave the girl you're talking to just here chilling? What is this on the ground? Is that our slingshot? No. That is our slingshot. Look at it. Oh well, that's a bug. Anyway, let's talk to Mary. Hi, Mary. You
I didn't
need
want
to
interrupt
not...
your conversation with Professor Lucien so abruptly.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Learning
Whoa.
that there's still a
Oh.
burglar on board seemed to frighten
I
him.
thought she meant because
He
she was
so
because he was
relaxed the whole
talking to
time,
her.
and then,
Dude's
And
guilty of
then
something.
The stupid Swiss constable came by and made him anxious.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
No matter. I'm
I meant
sure
that.
he'll calm
That's
down
what I
and
meant.
come back soon
Alright,
enough.
anyway.
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course you can. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Are you American? That... What? Alright, so ask me
How
last
was
night.
last night for you?
It was awful. I was having a conversation
Wasn't
with Edgar,
Edgar,
and Professor Lucien, here on the forecastle. Then I wanted to look for the lady and went forward via the side.
Why is forecastle spelled like that?
Baroness's cabin, I heard a muffled scream.
You heard a scream.
Yes, I thought the Baroness probably had a fall. I went to the door and listened for a moment. Since I couldn't hear anything, I knocked on the door and asked whether she was all right. There was no answer.
Really?
Interesting. And then?
I didn't know what to do, so I tried to open the door. It was locked. I saw the Baroness's butler, Mr. Inch, on the forecastle. I thought he might have the key and went back. On the way, the bobby crossed my path, and then Edgar, who wanted to check the safe. I explained the situation to him, and then the alarm went off.
Let's talk about this scream.
How did the scream sound?
What?
It
Like
was
a
short
scream?
outcry. Very frightened, as if someone had been startled.
Was it a woman's voice?
Yes, the voice was high.
So it could have been a scream from the Baroness. Possibly because she discovered someone in her cabin.
Possibly.
And you left her to die.
That person might have threatened her with a weapon, so that she wouldn't scream for help.
Don't make her sound guilt. Don't make her feel guilty about it.
The coast was clear.
Oh, please, stop it, Mr. Zellner.
Yeah, man. Good grief. You are the... Look, I'm not the most social person ever, but you are the worst people person I have ever seen in my entire life. Alright, that's about the butler.
The Baroness's butler said that
This
he was
dude.
in the forecastle as well.
Yes, he was standing on the other side of the deck smoking a cigarette.
Was he
She's a very
on the
wooden
forecastle
face.
the whole time?
I'm not sure. He was there, and later he was on the side deck with us. Oh, yes, he looked after you while you were unconscious. He unbuttoned your collar and held your head while the doctor checked you.
But you can't say for certain whether he came from the forecastle with you and Professor Lucien, or afterwards.
Well, no. But where else could he have come from?
Could be a ninja. Could be a ninja. Alright, let's ask about, none of these, really. Start at the top. Start at the top.
After all the commotion, he's already back to his old self again. But I haven't told him about the murder. That would be a bit too much for him.
I think he's made of sterner stuff.
I want to thank you again for what you did on the train. I wouldn't have known...
Everything's fine. Think nothing of it.
Yeah, you need to, like, redeem yourself after being an idiot.
Did you report that to Inspector Legrand?
Yes, last night. He was very interested and took a lot of notes. But I wanted to look for Lady Westmacott, and he let me go without further delay. He said that he'd take down my full statement today.
I understand.
Do you think the man from the train also killed the Baroness, Constable Zellner?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, no clue.
Explosions, thieves, murderers. This isn't the right place for a lady and a little boy.
That is true. That is very true.
You and Professor Lucien seem to be having a lively conversation.
Until I scared him and he went
He's
inside.
an expert in ancient Egyptian art and preeminent in hieroglyphic research. He's the head of the Egyptian department in the British Museum, you know. And he's going to open an exhibition at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
Right.
That's...
for the eye.
Those are all true
They
things.
had planned on exhibiting both jewels together for the first time in decades, but that's not going to happen now, sadly. I think it's quite upsetting for him.
I did read that in the paper myself.
Sure that at least one eye will be on display.
I know. I'll ask Lady Westmacott if she'd like to participate in the opening of the exhibition. I think it would be good for her.
And Professor
Do
Lucien
what?
will surely offer you a private tour.
Stop putting words in people's mouths. Look, all the Swiss people I know aren't like this guy, so don't let him color your opinion of the Swiss. Because this guy's a
You're
mess.
American, aren't you?
That's correct.
You'd swear he was
And you
American,
moved to
wouldn't you?
England because of the job?
I lived in England before. During the Second
All my
World
American
War,
viewers
I
are like,
volunteered.
what'd you say about Americans,
I worked
boy?
in a pharmacy on a U.S. base north of London.
In a pharmacy. Interesting.
Well, it was the war and everyone was sent where they could help best.
Please go on, Mrs. Miller.
After the war, I studied music in
Yeah, there's not a
London.
killer to find
I
or
met my
anything.
husband there. We married and went back to the States together.
He was also American?
No, English. But he said he had problems with his family and he wanted to be as far from them as possible.
And you gave up your studies for him?
Well, yes, I did.
Okay. You're gonna say something awful here. So ask for something safer.
To work for such a world-famous person.
The work is very interesting and varied, and it pays well, too.
It's
You are
important.
very lucky that the lady offered the position to you.
I just hope she won't change her mind one day. What would become of Matt's education then?
She seems to really like
I
you.
really make an effort to measure up to Lady Westmacott's expectations, but sometimes I feel like I fall short.
Lady Westmacott couldn't ask for a better companion.
Based
I'm
off, you
saving
know,
up as
I
much
met
money
you
as I can,
yesterday.
all the same, I'd do
You could be an
anything so
awful
that Matt doesn't
companion.
have to
I
give
don't
up his
know.
new life.
Murder of Wait, what?
Lady Westmacott dropped a hint on the train. That
That's
she
the kind
killed
of book.
her
I was like, what did I miss now?
What did she mean by that?
Oh, she must have meant the manuscript.
Manuscript?
She always takes it with her. It's an unpublished Partu novel. I once asked her why she never published it. She said that according to her will, the novel's only to be published after her death.
And in it, Partu will be killed?
Maybe. I've never read it. No one has. You'd better ask her yourself.
If she doesn't like her character enough that she carries around a book of him dying with her all the time, I don't think we should ask her about it.
Life as a single
Want
mother
that out there.
couldn't have been easy.
It was pretty tough then. I worked from morning till night and it was still only enough for the bare necessities, and I couldn't give Matt all the attention he needed.
And then Lady Westmacott entered your life.
It was like an angel appeared to me. She must have offered me the position out of pity. I had no experience as a carer. She made me a generous offer. I couldn't believe it. And she really adores Matt. She's offered him a good education, and now he has every opportunity in life.
An almost unbelievable story.
That is
Pray
interesting.
that it's a dream and that I'll wake up one day.
If you worked in a pharmacy, you would certainly know.
Oh, are we
something
accusing
about
her of
medicines
poisoning
and
us?
Poisons.
Everything is a potential poison, Constable. It depends on the dose.
Have you ever heard of chloral hydrate?
Of course.
A tranquilizer, isn't it?
I'm asking you.
Well, Lady Westmacott also asked questions like that for her last novel. But since I've never wanted to kill anyone, I never bothered with things like strychnine and arsenic and all that. I could recommend something for a headache, a sore throat, or a rash.
That's kind of you, but there's really no need. I'll be.
Did you just avoid the tranquilizer question? Like my follow-up to it at least? Anyway, okay. She's guilty too. Matt did it. Matt didn't do it. Matt's innocent.